I never thought a single piece of jewelry could completely upend my life. Honestly, I thought I knew embarrassment, awkwardness, even fear, but nothing prepared me for the shock that awaited when I touched my mom's ring. It all started on a quiet Saturday morning. The house was still, sunlight spilling through the curtains, and the scent of fresh pancakes wafted from the kitchen. I was rummaging through my mom's old jewelry box, partly out of boredom and partly because I had heard stories, wild stories, about a special ring that had been in our family for generations. "You shouldn't be touching that," my mom had warned me before. But curiosity got the better of me. There it was, a delicate silver ring, studded with a small, swirling gemstone that seemed to shimmer and move on its own. I slipped it onto my finger, laughing nervously. "What's the worst that could happen?" I whispered. The world tilted. A heat surged through my hand, spiraling up my arm. My vision blurred, and my heart raced like it was trying to escape my chest. I dropped the jewelry box, clutching my face as a strange tingling sensation spread all over me. My body felt different. Light, softer, smaller. I staggered toward the mirror, desperate to understand what was happening. And then I saw her, my sister. Long brown hair framed delicate features that were unmistakably hers. My face, my body, even my voice had completely transformed. I lifted my hand and realized that it wasn't mine anymore. The ring glowed faintly, as if mocking me. I tried to speak, but the voice that came out was melodic, high-pitched, unmistakably hers. This can't be real," I whispered. Panic surged, hot and suffocating. I ran to my mom, desperate for answers, only to find her sitting calmly at the kitchen table, a knowing smile on her face. "I warned you," she said softly. "The ring chooses its moment. And now, you are her." The next few days were absolute chaos. Every reflection reminded me of the transformation. Mirrors, windows, even the shiny surface of my phone captured the unfamiliar face staring back at me. At school, I could feel eyes lingering on me, whispers trailing behind as I walked down hallways. Friends stared in disbelief, teachers gave confused glances, and I felt trapped in someone else's body. Lisa, my best friend, cornered me after class. "Jamie, you look exactly like Mia. Is this some kind of prank?" "I wish it was," I said, my voice trembling. "I don't know how to explain it. Mom's ring, it changed me. I'm her." She frowned, worry etched across her face. "You can't just go to school like this. People will notice." But it was too late. Every glance from classmates, every whisper in the hallway, reminded me that the world would no longer see me as Jamie. I was trapped in Mia's body, her appearance, her voice, her life. And the fear was paralyzing. In my room that night, I stared at the mirror, running fingers through her long hair, tracing the contours of a face I knew intimately yet couldn't claim. Panic gave way to curiosity. I had to understand this new form, this new identity, this strange power the ring had forced upon me. I began experimenting. Makeup became my playground. Eyeliner, mascara, blush, each stroke teaching me something about the face I now inhabited. Clothes were next. I tried skirts, fitted tops, flowing dresses, even Mia's casual outfits. Every movement felt foreign, every step a delicate negotiation between my old habits and my new body. At first, I stumbled, awkwardly shifting weight in heels that felt alien, balancing the unfamiliar curves that now defined me. But gradually, small victories emerged. I learned to tilt my head, adjust my posture, and carry myself in ways that felt natural. Each experiment, each mirror check, reinforced a growing sense of confidence I had never known. Venturing outside my room was terrifying. Even a walk to the corner store became an exercise in controlled panic. Strangers stared, friends whispered, the world treated me differently. And yet, each step, each interaction, built a strange thrill. I began to notice power in subtle gestures, the sway of my hips, the tilt of a smile, the cadence of my voice. Mia noticed too. One afternoon, she found me practicing in her room. "You're adapting," she said, her tone somewhere between astonishment and pride. "I didn't think you'd take to it so quickly." I laughed nervously. "I don't know if I'm taking to it, or just surviving." "Survival is the first step," she replied. "But trust me, Jamie, you're discovering something about yourself. Something powerful." Her words resonated with me. I began embracing small public experiments, coffee shops, school corridors, even casual social outings. Each encounter was a lesson in presence, in identity, in the subtle ways the world reacts to confidence. Compliments, lingering glances, and polite smiles reinforced the growing realization. I was beginning to enjoy this. But fear and anxiety still shadowed me. Some friends were suspicious, some teachers stared. One classmate even commented under his breath about Jamie's weird transformation. Each moment was a choice: hide, flee, or embrace. I chose to practice. One evening, I dressed in Mia's favorite dress, applied makeup meticulously, and rehearsed walking down the sidewalk in heels. My heart pounded. Each step felt like an audition for the world. But as I moved, a strange feeling washed over me: exhilaration. People stared, yes, but I owned it. I walked taller, smiled subtly, adjusted my hair with confidence I didn't know I possessed. Lisa caught me mid-stride. "Jamie, you look incredible," she said softly. A thrill ran through me. "Thanks. I think I'm starting to like it," I admitted. "It's scary, but exciting." She grinned. "Exactly. That's the power you've discovered. Don't waste it." The real test arrived unexpectedly. Mom invited me to a family gathering, fully aware of my transformation. Panic surged. Hundreds of eyes, dozens of relatives, the potential for embarrassment. Everything I feared. But Mia's face appeared in my memory, confident, smiling, owning her presence. I took a deep breath. At the gathering, whispers erupted almost immediately. Cousins stared, aunts exchanged glances, someone muttered, "You look just like Mia." I froze. But then, instinctively, I smiled, straightened my back, and moved with a calm that surprised even me. I laughed at jokes, engaged in conversations, and noticed something incredible: I could command attention without fear. Every glance, every comment, every curious stare became fuel, not fear. By the end of the night, even my mom approached. "Jamie, or Mia," she said, laughing softly. "You've truly embraced this. I didn't think you'd adapt so fully." I smiled. "I've learned a lot. About me. About confidence. About who I can be." Over the following weeks, I continued to explore this new identity. I experimented with fashion, makeup, and hairstyles. I navigated school, friends, and social events with increasing ease. Each encounter, every compliment, every whispered acknowledgement, every admiring glance, reinforced my growing confidence. I realized that the ring had done more than transform my body; it had awakened something inside me. Fear had become curiosity. Embarrassment had become exhilaration. Hesitation had become confidence. I was no longer hiding in Jamie's shadow. I was thriving as Mia, exploring dimensions of self I had never imagined. Even small victories felt profound. Passing a mirror and smiling at the reflection, receiving a genuine compliment from a stranger, walking down a hallway without flinching, each moment was a testament to growth, resilience, and self-discovery. The climax came one afternoon at school. Our class was holding a talent showcase, and I decided, on a whim, on courage, on curiosity, to participate. I stepped onto the stage dressed fully in Mia's style: elegant dress, delicate accessories, confident posture. My heart thundered. Every eye in the auditorium was on me. And then I realized something remarkable. I wasn't afraid. I was alive. I moved, smiled, performed with grace and poise, and felt a thrill unlike anything I had ever known. The crowd erupted in applause. Friends, classmates, even teachers watched with admiration. I had transformed fear into empowerment, awkwardness into confidence, curiosity into mastery. Walking off the stage, I caught my mom's eyes. She winked. "See? I knew you could do it." And I believed her. From that day forward, life changed. I embraced fashion, beauty, and self-expression fully. I joined clubs, participated in social events, experimented boldly with outfits and makeup, and navigated friendships with newfound confidence. The girl in the mirror was no longer someone I had been forced to become. She was me. The magic ring had altered my body, yes, but more importantly, it had revealed my courage, curiosity, and power. I had discovered an identity I could inhabit authentically, a confidence I could carry publicly, and a self-worth I had never known. Now, when I look in the mirror, I see more than a face. I see a journey: fear, struggle, experimentation, growth, and triumph. I see someone who was forced into transformation but chose to embrace it fully, courageously, and unapologetically. Life will always throw surprises at us, sometimes frightening, sometimes bewildering. But sometimes, the moments we fear most are the ones that reveal our greatest strengths. That magic ring didn't just turn me into my sister, it turned me into the version of myself I never knew I could be. And that version is unstoppable. After the initial shock of seeing my sister's face in the mirror, life became a delicate balancing act between panic and curiosity. Every reflection reminded me of the person I had become. Mirrors, windows, even the polished surface of the school fountain reflected her, my sister, yet somehow, it was still me trapped inside. School became a minefield. Each day, I felt eyes following me, whispers skimming my ears like invisible fingers. Friends were confused, some stared openly, and teachers glanced at me with subtle disbelief. It was terrifying. During lunch, I could feel the tension vibrating through my body as my old friend, Lisa, leaned in. Jamie, I don't even know what to say. You literally look like Mia. Everyone's talking. I know, I whispered, clutching my tray so tightly my knuckles turned white. I don't even know who I am anymore. Mom's ring, it changed everything. I can't explain it. Lisa's eyes softened. You'll figure it out. You always do. But maybe you should try understanding her side, her movements, her mannerisms. You're literally in her body now. Maybe, experiment. Her words planted a seed. That night, I locked myself in my room and stared into the mirror for hours, tracing the curves of my face, running my fingers through long brown hair, observing the unfamiliar softness in my hands. I tried speaking aloud, mimicking my sister's inflections, noticing the subtle differences in her posture, the way she held herself with quiet confidence. Clothes became my next experiment. Mia's wardrobe was like a treasure chest of possibilities: flowing skirts, form-fitting tops, elegant dresses, casual chic outfits. The first time I slipped into one of her dresses, I stumbled, off balance, feeling completely foreign in the fabric that hugged my new curves. But as I looked in the mirror, something unexpected happened. A flicker of pride, a thrill of excitement. My body felt different, but not wrong. I practiced walking around my room, adjusting my posture, letting my shoulders relax, tilting my head just enough to catch the light. Each step taught me something new: how subtle gestures changed perception, how voice inflection could command attention, and how movement alone could convey confidence. Venturing outside was terrifying. My first public experiment was a simple walk to the corner store. Every glance from strangers felt like a test. I noticed the way some people smiled, others whispered, and a few stared openly. I could feel my heartbeat racing, palms sweaty, legs trembling. But instead of retreating, I pushed forward. By the third block, I noticed something incredible. I wasn't just surviving these interactions, I was learning from them. Compliments from strangers, lingering glances, even polite smiles fueled a strange thrill. I realized this new body, this new identity, wasn't just a prison. It was a vessel for growth, for discovery, for confidence I had never known. Mia caught me mid-stride that afternoon. Jamie, wow. You're actually handling this well, she said, grinning. I didn't think you'd adapt so quickly. I guess I'm learning, I admitted, cheeks burning. It's terrifying but exhilarating. She nodded knowingly. Exactly. That's the point. You're discovering power in her body, in her presence. Don't waste it. School events became the next frontier. A casual weekend outing with Lisa turned into a small, secret runway experiment. I dressed in Mia's favorite skirt and blouse, carefully applied makeup, and practiced walking confidently down the sidewalk. Each step was an exercise in self-awareness and poise. I noticed subtle reactions from passers-by, admiring glances, smiles, whispered compliments. I began to understand that confidence was contagious. It drew attention, commanded respect, and most importantly, made me feel alive. And yet, fear lingered. Some classmates were suspicious, some whispered too loudly, and one kid even commented under his breath about Jamie's new look. Each moment became a choice: hide, run, or embrace. I chose to embrace. The first real confrontation came unexpectedly. Marcus, a close friend from my old life, spotted me walking down the hallway fully transformed. His eyes widened, disbelief written across his face. Jamie, is that you? He whispered, voice trembling. I froze, heart racing. Yes, it's me, I said softly, trying to steady my voice, which now carried the melodic tone of my sister. This is who I am now. He blinked, processing, then smiled uncertainly. Wow, you look incredible. The relief was overwhelming. For the first time, someone saw me, not as a freakish anomaly, but as a person inhabiting this new body fully, authentically. I began exploring my identity more boldly. Coffee shops, park strolls, and library visits became controlled experiments in public interaction. Each outing reinforced subtle lessons: how to move with grace, how to speak with poise, how to use posture and gestures to convey confidence. Compliments and smiles reinforced a growing thrill. This was no longer just survival. This was empowerment. Even Mia noticed. One evening, she clapped as I practiced in her room. Jamie, look at you. You're becoming her, truly. I knew you had it in you. I think I'm starting to enjoy it, I admitted, laughing nervously. It's scary but exciting. That's the point, she said, eyes sparkling. You're learning more about yourself than you realize. The real test loomed, a school talent showcase. Panic surged at the thought of standing on stage, hundreds of eyes scrutinizing me. But I remembered Mia's posture, her confidence, her subtle grace. I took a deep breath, smoothed the skirt over my legs, and stepped into the spotlight. Every movement felt electric. I walked, posed, smiled, and spoke with an ease I hadn't known existed. The crowd's applause and admiration washed over me. I had transformed fear into courage, awkwardness into poise, and uncertainty into undeniable power. Walking off the stage, I caught Mom's eyes. She smiled knowingly. See? You can do this. And I finally believed her. From that night on, life became a series of discoveries. Fashion, social interactions, even casual outings transformed into exercises in self-expression and confidence. Each glance in the mirror reinforced the realization: I was no longer trapped. I was thriving. The magic ring had changed my body, yes, but it had also unlocked courage, curiosity, and resilience I never knew I possessed. I had discovered an identity I could inhabit fully, authentically, and proudly. Even small victories, compliments, smiles, confident strides, reminded me that transformation is not just external. It's internal, emotional, and deeply personal. I was no longer Jamie hiding behind fear. I was the girl in the mirror, confident, expressive, and unstoppable.